Hello my dear students, welcome to your Geography's online class. In today's class, we shall be discussing the chapter Formation of the Earth. This is the second chapter of your book and the first of your second unit. In this chapter, we will be discussing about how the Earth came into existence along with other planets. Yes, it is a debatable question to discuss the time factor about the origin of the earth, but yet there are certain theories that tries to prove, the modern scientific theories in fact, that tries to prove the age of the earth to what so far now is believed to be 4 to 5 billion years old. So now to discuss about the factors or the theories that suggests that how Earth came into existence. Before doing so, let us talk about the age of the Earth. Like I said, the Earth's age is of approximately 4 to 5 billion years. It still is a debatable question again regarding the age of the Earth. Or the question arises, how is it possible for us to quote the age of the earth? So in order to understand this age, let us try to discuss through various factors that helps us in proving the age of the earth. The first factor to discuss in what proves the age of the earth is tidal force. The tidal force is again further been discussed in two-phased, or you can say in two parts. But then what is tidal force is? This is what shows us the relation between the earth and its natural satellite, the moon. In first case, to understand the relationship between the earth and the moon, it is to say that the moon is a part of the earth. The moon originated as a part of the earth, from the earth, and hence it revolves around the earth. So the first point discusses about the tidal force that the moon exerts on the earth's surface. With time passing by, the distance between the moon and the earth started increasing. Earlier, the moon was very close to the earth, but later, the distance between the moon and the earth started increasing. Hence, this resulted in decrease in the tidal force exerted by the moon. The further the moon went, the lesser the force, that is the tidal force, became. So this at present, with the distance between the sun and the moon with approximately 3.5 lakhs kilometers away, the tidal force seems to be much lesser than what it was earlier, and hence this proves that the age factor, that it took almost 4,000 million years, that is 4 billion years, for the moon to reach to the position where it is now at present, and hence the force that is decreased likewise. The second is again with the distance between the moon and the earth. It is believed that the moon moves 13 centimeters away from the It moves 13 centimeters away from the earth. And the distance to what it is at present, with approximately 4 lakhs kilometers away from the earth, the distance between the moon and the earth, so as to say, to move 4 lakhs or to have one distance apart of 4 lakh kilometer at the rate of 13 centimeters per year, it took near about 4 billion years for the moon. Hence, Based on this factor, the distance factor, it is believed that the distance, in fact the age of the earth is 5 billion years, because it took some time for the moon again to come out of the earth as an extracted part of the earth to form as its natural satellite. The second factor to discuss is the sedimentation. Sedimentation is a process in which various agents of denudation deposits the debris carried by it. So there are various agents of denudation like river, like ice, glacier. There are so many such that tends to carry loads and loads of sediments or debris and are deposited in the low-lying region. So that is the process of sedimentation. And these agents of denudation has been carrying out the process of denudation or denudation at the same time its depositions of different sediments since the time of the origin of the earth. Then until now, the total amount of sedimentation done would give a certain thickness of the sediments so far deposited, would give us an idea of the age of the earth. So in sedimentation process, or the factor as a sedimentation that helps us in knowing the age of the earth, we can calculate the age of the earth with the help of a formula. So the age of the earth with the help of sedimentation factor can be known with a formula as age of the earth would be the ratio of total thickness of sediments divided by rate of sedimentation. So that means whatever has been deposited so far in total would be divided by the rate of deposition or the rate of sedimentation every year would give us an idea of the age of the earth, which approximately is around 4 billion years. The sedimentation theory in discussing the age of the earth faced a certain criticism, mostly on two grounds: that the rate of sedimentation is not the same every year, and second, that the rate of sedimentation is not the same everywhere. So it varies from place to place and varies from time to time. Hence, the theory sedimentation was criticized on these two grounds. Yet, its importance in discussing the age of the earth cannot be denied. The third factor to discuss about the age of the earth is rate of erosion. Some scientists are of the opinion that if we are able to find the total denudation taken so far and the rate of denudation that takes place every year, the age of the earth can be known. This is based on the factor or based on the fact that every year denudation takes place. And this is not a process, denudation is not a process that takes place just for a year and then it stops. It has been taking place, that is, the denudation process has been taking place since the time of the origin of the earth. And hence, from then till now, whatever the total amount of denudation has taken place and the rate of denudation every year that takes place would help us determine the age of the earth. So this is what the rate of erosion as a factor can help us in understanding the age of the earth. The fourth factor is the salinity of the ocean. As understood from earlier times that the land masses were very few and the entire land mass was surrounded by oceans. So the land mass being an elevated surface from that ocean level, various agents of erosion and denudation carried different sediments which were deposited in the oceans. And this very thing formed as a part of salinity. So, the depositions of sediments in the ocean increase the amount of salinity. So, until now, if we find the total deposits of sediments which makes up to the total oceanic salt and divide by rate of deposition, then the age of the earth can be known with the help of the factor as salinity of ocean. The last factor, radioactivity, is considered to be one of the most modern theory that discusses the age of the earth. It's not just the modern method, but is also considered to be one of the most accurate method in calculating the age of the earth. The theory of radioactivity, as suggested by Pierre Curie in 1903, suggests that radioactive elements, they tend to disintegrate and generate heat with the time passing. So on this basis, if we consider two of the most important radioactive elements as uranium and thorium, which had a large reserve on this planet, are now disintegrating and their amount is lessening. But at the same time, with the disintegration, they also have the heat which are being generated out of them to what is we call radioactive heat. So on this basis, that is with the disintegration of this radioactive elements, if we can understand the rate of disintegration of these radioactive elements and the total amount that remains back on the earth, then the age of the earth can be determined. To understand the age of the earth, it is first understood on the basis of half-life period, which is considered as a time period in which the radioactive elements are disintegrated almost the half. So on this basis, if we consider this half-life period, then for the radioactive elements to lose half of its amount as per the half-life period, it takes near about 4.6 billion years. So if we consider this radioactive elements as uranium and thorium, to consider as a half-life period that they are half disintegrated by now, then on that basis, the age of the earth becomes 4.6 billion years, that is approximately 5 billion years. So this is how radioactive elements too help us in understanding the age of the earth. In fact, one of the most modern scientific method or theory in discussing the age of the earth. So thank you class, this is for today. We will talk about different theories again pertaining to the origin of the earth. You all take care and stay safe.